Mary Jo, will you call the roll, please?
Kathy Pucci,
Here.
Tony DeMarco,
Here.
Ron Van Kirk,
Here.
Colleen Gallagher,
Here.
Katie Gallagher,
Here.
Kevin Tansky,
Here.
Tom Murphy.
Here.
Okay, will everyone please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have approval of the minutes from November 25th, 2013.
Motion to approve.
Second.
To approve, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Colleen Gallagher,
Abstain.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky.
Yes.
Tom Murphy.
Yes.
Okay, before we begin, we're going to alter our order of business a little bit this evening. Next up, we will have the house decorating contest winners, and then we will have two other elected officials come up in honor of Mrs. Gallagher's retiring from public service. And then after that, we have two resolutions that I wrote to honor and thank the outgoing members, Mrs. Gallagher and Mr. Murphy. And I'd like to thank Mary Jo for her assistance in getting them in final form. We will vote on the resolutions. The mayor and I will then sign them, and then I will step down to the podium with Mr. Murphy and present him with his resolution. And then, per Mrs. Gallagher's request, then the mayor will step down and present her with that resolution. So the first up is the house decorating contest winners.
Every year, we have judges that go around the city to look for house decorating, and the judges never want me to mention their names, so I won't do that, but they're three honorable people. And tonight, hopefully all three are in the audience. I'd like to call up the third place winner, Raymond Hale from 7429 Hammond Avenue. I've been by all three of these winners, and they certainly deserve it. Second place is Alan and Kelly Bowser. They live at 9728 Memphis Villas South. And the first place winner is Sean Flanagan at 6119 Delora. And he has a unique thing there. He has a sign on his front lawn that says FM 98.5. I didn't realize what that was, but if you pull up in front of his house and you turn your radio dial to 98, I think it's 0.5 or 0.3, the lights flash in conjunction with the music. It's pretty neat.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, next I'd like to recognize the Honorable David Mattia from Common Pleas Court, who I believe has a presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today's a happy day, but also a sad day for the city of Brooklyn. It's the last council meeting of Colleen Coyne Gallagher. It's like Brooklyn is losing a member of its family. That's the sad part. But this is the joyous occasion, the culmination of 16 years of public service to its citizens. And I don't know Colleen as a councilwoman, but I've heard her for the last 16 years talk about the job she does. So I know how dedicated she is, and I know how dedicated she is at court. We met just a little over 16 years ago. I think the first time I laid eyes on her was when I was running for judge, and I got elected the year after she got elected. I met her at her swearing in. Her brother introduced us, and we got to talking. She had been involved in politics, and I was a neophyte, and we hit it off initially, instantly, and she became my bailiff, and the rest is history. She is like a member of my family, and I think if I have a funny theme for tonight's, funny message for tonight, it's the world needs more crazy. Hear me out. She comes to work, she's usually there, if she's there at 6:30, she's late. She gets there early and she works till 4:30 virtually every day, and there's no privacy when you're a bailiff. Lawyers come in, phone's ringing, people are sitting on your desk practically, they're talking on your cell phone in front of you. She handles the stress of the job with a smile. She's a wonderful ambassador for myself and for the court. She does all that during the day, and then she goes home at night and she takes phone calls, she works on city issues, and the dedication that she shows, from time to time I've questioned her sanity. I go, you got to be crazy to do all that. And I've actually referred to the court psychiatric clinic on a couple of occasions to make sure that she's okay. And the report comes back that she's of sound mind, but her hair is perfect. So at first, when she was doing the city council bid, I thought, you know, you don't get paid much. It's a couple $1,000s a year. And I thought it was just going to be for her makeup fund. But there's going to be some good and bad in this, you know. Because she does always come to work looking very, very good. She has become like, she is family. So I know how she takes care of me. She looks out not just for the court, me, the judge. She is there for me, the person. I mean, she's my work wife. And she makes sure that I'm functioning as well as I can all the time, and that's no small task. It's when I'm having a bad day, she's having a bad day. If there's something going on in my life, she feels worse about it. So what makes Colleen such a great public servant is her empathy for people. She really wants the best for you, and she can feel if, you know, something's not right in your world, you know, she hurts for you too, and that's why she does what she does, so she can make life better for you in the community. So it's crazy to give that much effort up to help your community, people would say, but the world certainly needs more crazy like that. Colleen has made Brooklyn a better place, and she's made my life a much better place, and just wanted to thank her for her service. So thank you, Brooklyn.
Thank you, Judge. Next, we have the Honorable Martin Sweeney, Councilman in the City of Cleveland and outgoing City Council President.
Thank you, Madam President, distinguished Mayor, honorable council members, friends and family of the two retiring council people and citizens. I am Councilman Martin J. Sweeney. Judge, it's a pleasure seeing you. Tonight I'm here to recognize a friend, Colleen Coyne Gallagher. And why is the City of Cleveland coming to share this to my friend in a neighboring suburb? Because in 1990, I started as a probation officer, and she was running around in municipal court. And our political paths have crossed many times. And before I get going too far, Mr. Murphy, I owe you one because your mom said I'm in trouble because I didn't put one together for you. So you'll be getting one soon enough. I know. Sorry about that, Mrs. Murphy. But I just thought it'd be appropriate to put some words down for Colleen. So if you'd step down, I'll give you a little presentation. And my father taught me very early, be bold, be brief, and be gone. So I won't be too long, and that was supposed to be a little funnier than it was, and it was not. Well, Colleen, if you don't mind. It's official resolution of congratulations for Council President Martin Sweeney by the entire Cleveland City Council. And rarely we get unanimous support on anything, and this one was voted 19 to nothing. So you brought council together for a brief moment. Whereas the council members of Cleveland are extremely pleased to recognize Colleen Coyne Gallagher, a distinguished public servant who is retiring after 15 years of loyal and dedicated service to the citizens of Brooklyn, Ohio. She's a lifelong resident. She is one of 5 children. She graduated from Brooklyn High School in 1972. Soon began working in Cuyahoga County Domestic Relations Court. Colleen is also a loyal and committed employee for the City of Cleveland from 1986 to 1995, where she served in the municipal court. In 1998, she began serving as the bailiff for Judge David T. Mattia in Cuyahoga County Common Pleas, the same year she was elected to Cleveland City Council. It lists her accomplishments on council, which I know her as the judge knows her in the political realm as a co-worker, but not much as a council person. And looking at her track record as a council person, the public service aspect and the advocacy for the people she represents jumps off the page at you. And I'll just end it with a be it resolved, the City Council is most especially pleased to recognize and congratulate you, Colleen Coyne Gallagher, one of the City of Brooklyn's finest and most committed public servants. On the occasion of your retirement, after 15 years of exemplary service, this council applauds you and your significant accomplishments and further extends best wishes to you, Colleen, for much continued success and happiness in your future endeavors. Given to me for proper presentation by the Clerk of Council, Patricia Britt. Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay. Now we have Resolution 2013-10 to honor and recognize Councilman Thomas C. Murphy Sr. for his service to the City of Brooklyn, Ohio. We need a motion to suspend the rules and,
Introduced by all, suspend the rules. Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci,
yes.
Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Colleen Gallagher,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Tom Murphy.
I'll pass on that.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Colleen Gallagher,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Tom Murphy.
Pass.
Okay, next is Resolution 2013-11 to honor and recognize Councilwoman Colleen Coyne Gallagher for her 16 years of outstanding dedicated public service to the City of Brooklyn, Ohio.
Mrs. Pucci, may I be recognized?
Yes, you may.
If I could have my name stricken from the resolution, please? Thank you.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco,
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Colleen Gallagher,
Abstain.
Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Tom Murphy.
Yes.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco,
No.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Colleen Gallagher,
Yes.
Katie Gallagher,
Sorry.
Katie, can you
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Tom Murphy.
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Murphy, if you will join me at the podium, and your family is welcome to come up as well.
We'll just have them sit. 40 years of public service.
I was going to tell you, I let them know ahead of time, so they're coming up. Okay, this is Resolution 2013-10 to honor and recognize Councilman Thomas C. Murphy Sr. for his service to the City of Brooklyn, Ohio. Whereas Brooklyn City Council takes pride in recognizing outstanding citizens and public servants in our community who made positive contributions to the City of Brooklyn. And whereas Councilman Tom Murphy comes from a family with a long history of public service in the City of Brooklyn. And whereas Councilman Tom Murphy is a Vietnam veteran. And whereas Councilman Tom Murphy previously served on the Brooklyn Police Department from 1968 to 1982 as patrolman and sergeant. And whereas Councilman Tom Murphy served on Brooklyn City Council from January 1st, 2010 through December 31st, 2013. And whereas during his term on Brooklyn City Council, Councilman Murphy served as the liaison to the Brooklyn City Schools and on the Safety and Environmental Committee from 2010 to 2013, serving as chair in 2012 and 2013. And whereas Councilman Murphy did not shy away from tough issues that he believed in, and whereas Councilman Tom Murphy used his background in law enforcement to inform his decisions and offer his advice. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Brooklyn, County of Cuyahoga, and State of Ohio, Section 1, that the Brooklyn City Council is grateful to Tom Murphy for his public service to the citizens of Brooklyn. Section 2, that the Brooklyn City Council wishes Councilman Murphy, his wife Kathleen, his children Thomas Jr., Colleen, Aaron, and his grandchildren many years of good health, success, and contentment as he retires from public service to our community. Thank you for your service, Tom.
Thank you.
Colleen, do you and your family want to meet me at the podium?
Rosemary's daughters. Yes.
Judge Mattia, she wants you up here too. This is Resolution 2013-10 to honor and recognize Councilwoman Colleen Coyne Gallagher for her 16 years of outstanding, dedicated public service to the city of Brooklyn, Ohio. Whereas Councilwoman Colleen Coyne Gallagher, a respected member of the Brooklyn City Council, is retiring as of December 31st, 2013. And whereas Colleen Coyne Gallagher, a lifelong resident of the city of Brooklyn, daughter of Thomas and Lucille Coyne, graduate of Brooklyn High School, class of 1972, comes from a family with a history of public service, including her father, who was a Cleveland police detective, and her husband, Michael, who was a retired Brooklyn firefighter. And whereas Colleen Coyne Gallagher began her tenure on the Brooklyn City Council on January 1st, 1998, and has served on all council committees, as President Pro Tem on the Recreation Board and as Master Plan Advisor Committee. And whereas as a member and chair of the Safety and Environmental Committee, Councilwoman Gallagher initiated neighborhood meetings to promote safety in the community, secure a street light at Tiedemann and Manoa, secure an accessible pedestrian signal at Ridge and Bidoff to assist the visually impaired, advocated for improved security at Ridge Park Square. And whereas Councilwoman Gallagher proposed several new initiatives, including the Domestic Abuse Committee, including working to establish a safe room at Parma Community General Hospital for victims of domestic violence, the Juvenile Diversion Program for the first-time offenders in the community, including volunteering to supervise the juveniles in their community service, the position of legislative updates to keep residents current about issues facing our community, propose the first council liaison to the Brooklyn City Schools to improve communication between the two entities. And whereas Councilwoman Gallagher has demonstrated a commitment to improving the quality of life for the residents of the city of Brooklyn, including serving as a member of the Home Days and Christmas committees, including initiating the first holiday gathering, initiating the Team Entertainment Committee, worked with state representatives and ODOT to secure a noise barrier of trees along I-480, volunteered for levy committees for the Brooklyn City Schools, and whereas Councilwoman Gallagher proposed several pieces of legislation and new ideas, including revising the legislation relating to licensing and registration of solicitors and peddlers, limiting overtime for directors, requiring background checks for employees and volunteers of the Recreation Center, altered and updated existing animal law regulations, introducing and advocated for automatic trash collection. And whereas Councilwoman Gallagher has been involved with a number of organizations and clubs, such as a lifetime member of the Brooklyn Historical Society, member, secretary, and past president of the Brooklyn Democratic Club, serves as a precinct committee person and on the executive committee of the Democrats of Cuyahoga County, is a former secretary of the American Legion Ladies Auxiliary Post 469, a member of the Ohio Municipal League, a member of St. Thomas More Parish. Mrs. Gallagher is a former member of the Northeast Ohio City Council Association, the Ohio Canal Corridor, and the West Side Irish American Club. And whereas Councilwoman Gallagher has a long career in public service, including service in the Cuyahoga County Domestic Relations Court, the Cleveland Muni Court, and currently serves as bailiff for Judge David T. Mattia in the Cuyahoga County Police Court. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Brooklyn, Ohio, County of Cuyahoga, and the State of Ohio, that the Brooklyn City Council is grateful to Colleen Coyne Gallagher for her 16 years of outstanding and dedicated public service to the citizens of Brooklyn, and do hereby recognize and honor her for her dedication to our community. The Brooklyn City Council wishes Colleen Coyne Gallagher, her husband Michael, her daughters Kelly and Katie, her grandchildren Liam and Quinn, many years of good health, success, and contentment as she retires from public service.
Okay, next we'll have the public session. If anyone has anything to say for the good and welfare of the city of Brooklyn, please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and please observe our 5-minute time limit.
My name is Shirley Palumbo, and I reside at 10218 Micah Drive in Brooklyn. I am here tonight to convey my congratulations to Councilwoman Colleen Gallagher on her retirement from 16 years of service. It's not an easy thing to serve on council. You need a pretty thick skin to endure the criticism, personal attacks from the public, and sometimes even from fellow council members who can't appreciate your right to disagree. In all the years I've attended meetings, I've witnessed Colleen has always voted her conscience and tried to do the very best she could for the citizens of Brooklyn. She's served on or chaired just about every committee. She's been a relentless advocate for victims of domestic violence, worked to rehabilitate juvenile delinquents through community service, and kept us all abreast of legislative updates and communications on issues pertaining to our city. Colleen has always been on the lookout for ideas that benefit Brooklyn. After hundreds of meetings, phone calls, and follow-through for residents, countless community events, and political campaigns, Colleen deserves our admiration and respect for a job well done. My husband and I personally want to offer our gratitude for all the work you have done on behalf of our city and offer our best wishes for a long and happy retirement. I knew I was going to cry, sorry. Thank you.
Tom Adamski, 9625 Melody Lane, proud resident of Brooklyn. Today, in my opinion, ends the dynasty of Colleen Coyne Gallagher. In the short time that I knew her, when I moved here in '81, our son graduated in 1996 and our daughter graduated in 1999 from Brooklyn High School. Colleen inspired me to run for the school board. It was a critical time in Brooklyn, and Colleen, with her assistance, encouraged me, and I ran a successful campaign. One thing about Colleen, you know where she came from, the heart of Brooklyn. I can't say enough accolades about her, but one thing about Colleen, she never chickened out on any issue. And I use the word chicken figuratively, because when there was the issue that was controversial, the Sun News said Brooklyn was going to the chickens. Well, that was kind of funny humor, but did she back down? No, she didn't. She said her piece, and that was that. In my opinion, Colleen epitomizes what the essence of a council person should be, and that's for the betterment of the community. Always working for the community. To that end, it means she spent many countless hours not coming from work, going to committee meetings, running the Democratic Club, etc. There are three things, in my opinion, that really stand out to show what a visionary she was. And the first one, obviously, was the juvenile diversion. It gave our young teenagers a second chance to get their act together. Then there was domestic abuse, and that speaks for itself of what she accomplished. And then in the next generation was the seniors, and that was the one-armed bandits. Colleen, I wish you the best of health in 2014, and whatever is on your bucket list, I hope you have the time to do it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, hi, Paul. Thank you.
Hi, Paula Ritter, 8974 Boxwood Circle, Brooklyn, Ohio. Honorable guests, the Honorable Marty Sweeney, President of Council, Judge Mattia, Mayor Belbier, President Pusey, members of council, directors, Mary Jo, you're always forgotten. Thank you. This is their night, and I don't want to rain on their parade. I'm very thankful to them for their service to Brooklyn. In 1997, I think I recall writing a letter for Colleen. And anyone who knows me would expect me to be honest, and I'm going to be. Can't say I agreed with her all the time. But when I wrote that letter, and right now, tonight, the one thing I saw in Colleen Coyne Gallagher was a heart. She had great empathy for people and served us well, as did Tom, and I'll address that later. I want to thank Mr. Verba, Director Verba. Thank you for communicating to the residents regarding Ridge Road trash collection, anything like that. That's new, and it's a great service to the residents. I want to thank, it's the time of the season to look for the good, I believe. I want to thank the city administration, found the right sheet, the city staff, particularly Jill, all the residents, all the employees who together joined with St. Thomas More, Father Bill, Father Paul, the school, the staff, the parishioners, to help make Thanksgiving a better day for those less fortunate among us. I thank all the churches and organizations and individuals that do this. And as I thought about it today, I thought we are a good people, and we should recognize this and grow to even better, be better. We're generous. Take one look at our neighbor, St. Augustine in Tremont, Father McNulty, Sister Carita. I hope I don't have my figures mixed up, and I probably do. You'll have to check them. But it's astounding, the number of volunteers they bring in, the number of people they serve. We must remember we are a kind and generous area, and we should try to grow better. I want to personally thank Tom Coyne. By the way, I want to thank Colleen, too, and I hope that her new life, whatever she moves on to, I'm sure she will succeed and do well. A good heart takes you a long way. But I thank Tom for his service. I thank him also for giving me the honor to serve on the Charter Review Commission with other council appointees and mayoral appointees. That was very kind of him. I want to stay up at the Christmas season, but I would be wrong if I did not bring up one of the reasons I have great respect for him. It's not going to make us happy. The school levy was a touchy issue. And, you know, we're founded on freedom of speech and the electorate decides. Well, the electorate did decide, and that's a good thing. Tom had a view. I respect Tom very much. I respect those who had the opposite view. Earl Bloom has been given his life to the school system. Councilwoman Pusey has earned and gained my respect, and I'm sure many others. The views differed. His was not the popular view. But I respect him for holding firm to the principle he believed in the face of great adversity. That took guts. To the election again. We have no rule, no law, and perhaps it needs to be changed, that meant Katie Gallagher could not have run. And the people chose her. Now that's over and done. I don't like some things, but we're starting a new year. But also, it should be noted, the people chose Mary Belbeer. And I respect many people, but I too have views. Mary was elected by the people. I hear the term nepotism. I'd like to see how that is actually defined politically. I'm sure there's many definitions. The fact is, the people elected our mayor, Richard Belbeer. A different administration hired the magistrate. They made a very good choice in the hiring of the magistrate. Now the people have elected Mary. And if we look back in our history, those of you who are as old as I that can remember it, maybe not too many of you there, let's look back to the Frys as an excellent example. If John Fry were alive today, or if Gregory Fry were to run, they'd win. They were treasured, loved, and respected by the people, yet they were father and son. I'm not supporting this. I'm just looking at it. Look right now on our council floor. Sits Colleen Coyne Gallagher. Listen to the accolades she received. And sits her daughter, Katie, recently voted in by the people. Let's even go a step further, particularly when we think of the magistrate. Let's go back to the years of John M. Coyne. And those of you who know me know I could be hard, and very critical.
Mrs. Ritter, you've got 30 seconds.
Okay, the fact is, his son was our recreation director, he was our mayor, and by the way, when I look back, the recreation director with Kelber and with Thompson and with the help of Joni Kemper did great, and please let me be, and please humor me for this one more second. In my constant endeavor to remain politically incorrect in certain areas, please may I wish each of us a blessed Christmas as we remember the birth of Jesus Christ, and a holy, healthy, happy, and blessed New Year. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to say for the good and welfare of the city of Brooklyn? Okay, we will move forward then to reports of committees, commissions, and boards. The Finance Committee did meet earlier this evening at 6:30. We addressed the agenda items relating to finance, and in order to avoid redundancy, I will expand on those when they're introduced. At this time, I'll also give my Economic Development Committee report. And we have a tentative meeting scheduled for Wednesday, January 8th at 10 a.m. Next is the Recreation Board, and that's Mr. Tansky.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. Brooklyn Recreation Center holiday hours, Tuesday, 12/24, City Ice Session, 11:45 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. Public Skating Session, 1 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. Adult and Senior Swim, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Open Swim, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Wednesday, 12/25, Merry Christmas, building closed. Tuesday, 12/31, City Ice Session, 11:45 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. Public Skating Session, 1 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. Adult and Senior Swim, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Open Swim, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Wednesday, January 1st, 2014. Happy New Year, building closed. Brooklyn Recreation Friday night basketball will take place in the Brooklyn High School East Gym. Friday nights beginning January 10th, 2014 through February 21st, 2014. This program is open to residents only, grade 1 through grade 8. Register at the John M. Coyne Recreation Center, 7600 Memphis Avenue, December 16th, 2013 through January 6th, 2014 during regular business hours. You must show your current resident identification card at the time of registration. The cost is $35. Session dates, January 10th, grades 1st through 4th from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. January 17th, grades 5th through 8th from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. All other sessions will be held from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Session dates, January 31st, February 7th, February 14th, February 21st. Session times, Group 1, grades 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Group 2, grades 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. Group 3, grades 7th and 8th, 8 p.m. to 8:45 p.m. Group times are subject to change based on number of participants. Street shoes will not be permitted on the gym floor. Please bring with you a pair of athletic shoes that will only be worn on the gym floor during your scheduled session. If the school is closed due to inclement weather on a day the program is scheduled, the program will not be held on that day. The next Recreation Board meeting will be held on Tuesday, January 21st, 2014, at 7 p.m. in the Mayor's Court. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to council reports, and this evening we begin with Mr. DeMarco.
I would just like to, a couple things, congratulate the house decorating contest winners. It's great to see that a bunch of our residents still take pride in decorating their homes during the holiday season. I'd like to thank the seniors for allowing me to attend their Christmas party. It was the most crowded one I think I've been to since I've been on council, so I hope everybody had a fantastic time. And finally, again, I'd like to wish all the residents and your families, all of our employees and their families a very Merry Christmas and a healthy 2014, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Van Kirk.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. I also wanted to congratulate Mr. Murphy and Mrs. Gallagher on their time on City Council and thank them for their service. I also wanted to thank the residents of Brooklyn who came to Christmas in Brooklyn at the Senior Center this past Saturday night. It was truly a joy to see so many people come out for that, and it was a lot of fun. Look forward to doing it again next year. I also want to thank the residents of Brooklyn for giving me the privilege to serve on City Council for another year. I count it an honor to be able to serve on here with the likes of Mrs. Gallagher and Mr. Murphy, and it truly is a pleasure serving you all. And I'll be politically incorrect with Paula as well, and wish all of you a very Merry Christmas as we do celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, and a very blessed 2014. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mrs. Colleen Gallagher.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to serve you for the last 16 years. I truly value the friendships I made. As my mom once said, meaningful friendships are rare, but when they occur, they last forever. And that goes for Tom Adamski and Shirley. You've been my friends for a long time, and I appreciate your kind words. I'm truly looking forward to joining my husband in our new home and enjoying my family and grandchildren. Thank you, Mayor Balbier. You've been a dear friend and confidant for the past 16 years. We shared our ups and downs together, but weathered the storm. I wish you and your family all the best. To my judge, I was totally shocked to see him tonight. He was supposed to be heading to New York this afternoon. I appreciate his kind words. He's been a great boss, but most of all, my best friend. Council President Sweeney, I appreciate the proclamation. I've enjoyed sharing information with all the council members there that benefited both cities. I wish them all the best, and thanks again for coming out tonight. Mary Jo Banish, our Clerk of Council. Mary Jo, thank you for your insight and knowledge on every aspect of council legislation to council rules. You've done an amazing job and have been an asset to the city of Brooklyn, so thank you for that. To the directors and employees, I'd like to thank you for your dedication and commitment to the city of Brooklyn. All of our employees go above and beyond to provide excellent service to our residents. So thank you. Council President Kathy Pucci, I'd like to thank you for your commitment this year as president and in the past. You've also weathered the storm through the years with Rich and I appreciate your dedication and help through the years. To my past and present colleagues, I wish you and your families all the best. I appreciate your dedication and service. Council has to make some difficult decisions that affect all of you. Their hard work makes a difference and secures a better future for all your families. And thank you to my friends from the Domestic Violence Committee, Helen, Ruth, Bonnie, and Robin, for their continuing commitment. And finally, I would like to thank my husband, Mike, and daughters, Kelly and Katie, for sharing this honor with me tonight. My family has supported me and stood with me through these past 16 years on council. I love you. One more thing to Tom Murphy. Tom, I wish you all the best. You've done a great job. I enjoyed working with you. So all the best to your family. And I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Katie Gallagher.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. Good evening, everybody. I'd first like to thank Pastor Folger and the Cleveland Baptist Church for hosting Christmas in Brooklyn this past Saturday. Their choir did an amazing job, and as I said to Mr. Van Kirk, some of their members need to start singing professionally. The Cleveland Baptist Church, like many organizations in Brooklyn, see the importance of bringing community together. So thank you for your commitment to Brooklyn. Thank you to Tom Murphy and Colin Gallagher for all of your hard work on council. Tom Murphy is a great colleague, and I've really enjoyed working with him. He's always open-minded and willing to listen to everyone. But what I think I admire most about him is that he always does what he believes in is the best interest of the city, even if it may not be the most popular view. I want to thank you for everything you've done for Brooklyn as a resident, a police officer, and on council. And Colin Gallagher, I don't even know where to start. I could speak for hours about how she's influenced my life, not only as a colleague, but as a mother. I've tried to limit this to 3 of the most important things. First, she's a leader by example. My mom leads with her actions, not her words. Second, she always stands up for what she believes in. If she thinks something's right, she will fight for it. And lastly, she never forgets why she's here, the residents. She always has been available if someone needs help. There's never a problem too small or unimportant. If it mattered to you, it mattered to her. If I had to guess, I think this is the one part of her job she took the most pride in. So thank you, Mom, for being such an amazing role model. We are really going to miss you up here. Merry Christmas to everyone, and I hope everyone has a nice New Year's.
Thank you. Mr. Tansky.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. Good evening. I'd like to congratulate Sean and Christine Flanagan on Delora, this year's winner of Brooklyn's House Decorating Contest. This display was awesome, and I would like to thank all the residents who participated in this fun event. There are two members of City Council who will be leaving at the end of the year. Mr. Murphy, you have served on Brooklyn City Council for 4 years, and during that time, you have taken some criticism for standing up for what you believed in, whether it was favorable or not. Your dedication to our city is much appreciated. It has been a pleasure serving with you on City Council. Best wishes to you and your family. Mrs. Colleen Coyne Gallagher, I have known you for many years, and as a colleague and a friend, I want to say thank you for your honesty, integrity, and dedication to the city of Brooklyn throughout the years. You've been a lifelong resident of Brooklyn and have served this community well. You have served on numerous committees and have introduced legislation that has benefited our city. It has also been a pleasure serving with you on City Council. I want to wish you and your family the best of luck in the future and much happiness. I would like to wish all the residents and their families on a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Tom Murphy.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody for the kind words they said about me. I was always taught it's something that you should do. You got to pay back. On the police department, I worked for the Attorney General's office. I worked in organized crime as a director of task forces for the last 5 years of my career in the City Council. I want to thank you. It was and it is my privilege to serve you. My colleagues on City Council, we didn't always agree. Sometimes we agreed to disagree. I am who I am, and that's it. I was always taught to stand up for those that couldn't or wouldn't stand up for themselves. For the next council that's coming in, good luck. You got a good crew coming in. I want to thank Colleen for her kind words. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I too would like to congratulate the winners of the holiday decorating contest. We really appreciate your efforts making our community a little brighter. I'd also like to thank the staff and volunteers over at the Senior Center. I too had the privilege of attending their Christmas party, and it was a wonderful afternoon. I have an update on the Safe Routes to School regarding the infrastructure grant for $174,000. The original project was for improvements at both Brookridge and the middle school. Because of the redevelopment of the high school, middle school area, and the proposed tearing down of Brookridge, the site would be limited improvements that could be done with a reasonable lifespan. So right now, the options are to cancel the project or to reduce the scope. We will reconvene in early 2014, and based on the school district's development plan and timeline, determine the best course of action at that time. I have some announcements. The deadline to apply for the vacancy on council was at 4 p.m. this evening. We have 9 applicants. We have scheduled the interviews for Thursday, January 9th at 7 p.m. A letter and a fact sheet will be sent to each applicant tomorrow. The swearing in of elected officials will be January 1st at 11 a.m. in the council chambers. And the 2014 organizational meeting of Brooklyn City Council is Monday, January 6th at 6:45 in the council chambers. To my 2 outgoing colleagues, I'd first like to thank Mr. Murphy for your service to our community, both as obviously a resident police officer and council person. It's been a pleasure serving with you, and I respect that you always stuck to your guns and did what you believed was right. And I wish you all the best. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Gallagher. We've been on 16 years, the same time. We didn't always agree, but over time, I think we both came to understand that you can't always get a lot accomplished by yourself. And I think one of the things we both learned was how important it is to find the common ground and then go from there to work for the betterment of our community. So I appreciate you always taking the time to listen and your dedication to our community. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank Mr. Van Kirk, Pastor Folger, and the choir from Cleveland Baptist Church. You know, we've had a lot of feedback from residents stating that we don't have enough events to bring our community together. So I'd like to commend Mr. Van Kirk because he took this to heart and saw a Christmas program as a way to bring our community together. My family and I attended. It was a fabulous program. We attended last year. I think you outdid yourselves this year, though. So thank you. I know that it meant putting on the program twice, but we really appreciate what you did for our community. And finally, on behalf of Brooklyn City Council, I would like to thank our directors, chiefs, department heads, and all of our employees for their efforts this past year. We sincerely appreciate the work you do on behalf of our community, and we look forward to a productive 2014. And to all our residents, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Next, we move on to the mayor's report. Mayor Balbier.
Thank you, Mrs. Pucci. I just want to thank Tom and Colleen also for their service to the city of Brooklyn. Both of yous will be missed. I received an email from Shannon Blackwell. He's the president and chief operating officer of Ridge Park Square. And he says, I'm excited to share with you that Ashley Furniture Home Store will be our latest new anchor tenant at Ridge Park Square. They will take over where Circuit City used to be. It says Ashley Furniture Home Store is recognized as the #1 furniture store brand in the world and the #1 retailer of furniture and bedding in the United States. He also states, as you might be aware, the AMC Theater opened up half of their newly renovated building a few weeks ago, and early response is overwhelmingly favorable with regular sellouts. So we're happy to hear that. I also want to thank Mr. Van Kirk. They did a wonderful job at this Christmas in Brooklyn Saturday. It was well attended. And not only is Mr. Van Kirk a good councilman, he's also an excellent music director. So I just like to thank you, Ron. Everybody appreciate it. I've had nothing but compliments about it. And I'll just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we move on to reports of directors, and this evening, I believe we have one, Mr. Enovich.
Oh, I don't think so. Sorry.
Madam President, members of council, I'll just give you a brief update. Looks like 2013 is going to finish strong for the city. Year to date, through today, the city's general fund revenues have exceeded our general fund expenses by $2,506,871. That is, we've taken in $2,506,871 more than we have spent. The components of that, the revenues exceeded our expectations by $2,397,000. We took in $2,397,000 more than we expected, and we spent $997,000 less than we budgeted. Our general fund balance as of today is $8,430,000. Our overall total fund balance, these are both restricted and unrestricted, is $20,011,855.82. Total cash balance is $21,352,520.73. I'd like to take a moment just to give kudos to the Finance Department. This last couple weeks, Joanne Haig scoured through every one of our accounts to make sure that our final appropriation ordinance, the bottom line on that is zero. That is, we were able to find places where we hadn't spent money that we would reallocate so that we didn't have to ask council to reappropriate additional funds for the final appropriation ordinance that you'll act on tonight. So great job. Joanne's went over everything with a fine-tooth comb to get to that point. Secondly, Linda Kelber made sure that every one of the city's bills were paid on time and closed out the end of the year. And most importantly, Tina Westfall, at the last council meeting, council approved 2 ordinances that ratified the collective bargaining agreements for our 2 unions. We made sure that those people, the conditions that you passed in that collective bargaining agreement, were in their paycheck last Friday. So we worked hard. We knew that was important to them. It was an important component of the negotiations. So we followed through on that. So that concludes my report. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move forward. The first item is a bid approval for the Recreation Center maintenance of the HVAC and refrigeration. Dear Mayor and members of council, a bid proposal was received on Thursday, December 12, 2013, for 1-year full maintenance service program for refrigeration, heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems at the John M. Coyne Recreation Center. The bid was submitted by K Company. This company has serviced the John M. Coyne Recreation Center for many years and has performed the services without interruption. I respectfully recommend acceptance of the bid submitted by the K Company in the amount of $26,868.
Move to approve the bid.
Second.
To approve the bid, Kathy Pucci?
Yes.
Tony DeMarco?
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk?
Yes.
Colin Gallagher? Katie Gallagher?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Tom Murphy?
Yes.
Next, we have a change order for the recreation restroom facilities. To the mayor and members of council, I'm requesting authorization for additional services to be performed at the John M. Coyne Recreation Center in conjunction with the renovation project of the restrooms. There has been a change order submitted by the plumbing contractor for changing the toilet specifications, which has been approved by the architect representing the city of Brooklyn, Jim Dubber of Studio Techna Architects. I'm requesting council approve the material change order in the amount of $1,449. Attached is the price quote from the Lauren Building Company LLC, and this is from our Director of Public Service, Mr. Verba. The change is they're going to put in a better grade of toilets that has a higher flushing capacity.
Move to approve the change.
Second.
To approve the change order, Kathy Pucci?
Yes.
Tony DeMarco?
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk?
Yes.
Colin Gallagher?
Yes.
Katie Gallagher?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Tom Murphy?
Yes.
Okay, next we have ordinance 2013-74, authorizing interfund transfers and advances during 2013. We are transferring from the general fund into the Safety Forces Construction Fund $280,500, and then transferring that same amount from the Safety Forces Construction Fund into bond retirement. The other transfer is, there was some residual interest left in the Plain Dealer Debt Service Fund, which has now been paid. $5.19 is going to be transferred into the bond retirement fund. And we're going to pass this by emergency measure this evening.
Introduced by all, suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci?
Yes.
Tony DeMarco?
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk?
Yes.
Colin Gallagher?
Yes.
Katie Gallagher?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Tom Murphy?
Yes.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci?
Yes.
Tony DeMarco?
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk?
Yes.
Colin Gallagher?
Yes.
Katie Gallagher?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Tom Murphy?
Yes.
Ordinance 2013-75, amended annual appropriations ordinance, amending ordinance 2013-8 as amended by ordinance 2013-36, 2013-49, and 2013-58, entitled, "An Ordinance to Make Appropriations for Current and Other Expenditures of the City of Brooklyn, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st, 2013 to December 31st, 2013." And as Mr. Enovich stated, the bottom line on our appropriations is zero. This is just our end-of-the-year adjustment, where if we have an overage in certain amounts and an underage in another area, we balance it out so that we don't end the year in the red in any of our categories. And we will pass this by emergency measure also this evening.
Introduced by all and suspend the rules.
Second.
To suspend the rules, Kathy Pucci?
Yes.
Tony DeMarco?
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk?
Yes.
Colin Gallagher?
Yes.
Katie Gallagher?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Tom Murphy?
Yes.
To adopt, Kathy Pucci?
Yes.
Tony DeMarco?
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk?
Yes.
Colin Gallagher?
Yes.
Katie Gallagher?
Yes.
Kevin Tansky?
Yes.
Tom Murphy?
Yes.
Next, we have ordinance 2013-76, which is up for first reading this evening, repealing Section 1 of ordinance 2012-6 amended, relating to compensation for full-time and administrative employees, non-bargaining agreement. The mayor's proposing that council repeal the 5% reduction from the top level of the salary range for the administrative employees. So we're going to place this on first reading this evening. Next is ordinance 2013-77, which is also on first reading this evening, repealing Section 1 of ordinance 2012-22, relating to compensation for the part-time position of Economic Development Director. This is the same situation where the mayor's proposing that we repeal the 5% decrease to the upper limit for this position. So this is on first reading this evening. That completes our agenda. Does the mayor or any other council members have anything further they'd like to say? Okay, if not, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
To adjourn, Kathy Pucci,
Yes.
Tony DeMarco.
Yes.
Ron Van Kirk,
Yes.
Colleen Gallagher, Katie Gallagher,
Yes.
Kevin Tansky,
Yes.
Tom Murphy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Get those holes in there?